here at Dickey Stevens Park. Nightfall starts to settle in. A gorgeous Sunday.
Last July 22nd in Little Rock, the Arkansas Travelers were playing the Tulsa Drillers in a minor league game. It was a soft summer's night, perfect for baseball. Only something terrible would take place that evening, something that had never before happened in the history of baseball.
I've always been a person that has believed that when it's your time, there's nothing you can do to stop it.
When someone calls you up and says that someone has died in a baseball game, that doesn't happen.
It's 1 in a million.
Yeah.
1 in a billion.
It was Mandy Coolbaugh's husband, Mike, who was killed on the field. He left 2 small sons, Joey and Jake, and Mandy was 6 months pregnant with their 3rd child. Mike Coolbaugh was respected by his teammates for how much he loved the game of baseball, and for the one thing he cared about even more, his wife and children.
He would leave me letters everywhere, every time he left for the season. He'd leave them underneath pillows. He'd put them in my car for me to find.
That doesn't fit the pattern of the rough, tough ball player, does it?
No, he was very sensitive. He was very much of a family guy.
How was he with the kids?
He was wonderful.
I mean, if my daddy had been a ball player, that would have been pretty exciting. Was it for them?
They loved it. Joey, my oldest, his first word was ball. I remember when he started walking, he would imitate Mike in slow motion, and he'd sit there and take the bat and just pretend to hit a home run and then go running, and he'd slide into home plate, and he made sure his dad came over and gave him knuckles, and that was our life.
It's a base hit for Coolbaugh. That is going to end the ball game.
In 16 years, Mike Coolbaugh played for 15 minor league teams. His teammates used to kid him that he was the real-life Crash Davis, the career journeyman from Bull Durham. He hit 256 home runs while bouncing from one team to the next, and Mandy became his #1 fan, even if she really didn't understand the game, which Mike only found more endearing.
I would hit a couple balls, just the ground outs or whatever, and she, after the game, would say, "You hit the ball, good." You know, like, it kind of upset me at the time, but it makes you laugh because you think, you know, it's really not that bad. So it made the hard times easy and the good times better.
The best of all came as a complete surprise one day in the middle of the 2001 season when the Brewers brought him up. When he got called up to the majors, tell me how he told you that.
Actually, it wasn't a conversation one-on-one. It was a message on my phone.
Hey, baby, I got caught up. I'm going to the big leagues. I can't breathe. You're caught up. I love you.
Mandy rushed up to Milwaukee to meet him and see Mike in his major league debut. He beat her there.
He had showed up at the field about 7 o'clock that morning.
The place isn't open at 7 o'clock in the morning, Mandy.
No, matter of fact, he had to convince the security guard that, no, I'm supposed to be here. And the security guard drove him around. When he checked off and sure enough knew that Mike was supposed to be there, he let him in the locker room. Mike's jersey was already up with his name on it. So he was just taking it all in.
Well, here's Coolbaugh now. He has paid his dues at the minor league level. One of those feel-good stories. Line past the shortstop. Atta baby, Mike.
He came home that night, and he said, this has made all my years in the minor league worth it. I've had my hit. And it's wonderful to look up at the scoreboard and see that he's batting 1,000.
The next day brought yet another first.
Drive to left. It's a home run for Mike Coolbaugh.
But just 2 months later, the Brewers released him. Mike would make it back up briefly one more time with the Cardinals. But last year, at the age of 35, he finally knew it was time to stop chasing the dream. He retired as a player, but in July, Tulsa, a Colorado Rockies farm team, offered him the job as the hitting and first base coach.
I remember him calling after his first couple of days, and he just said, this is going to be good. I like talking with the guys, and I feel like I'm finally giving back.
You and Mike got to know each other. I mean, you really got to be friendly, didn't you?
Yeah, I felt that sooner or later I was going to end up doing the same thing that he was doing, you know, being coach.
Tino Sanchez quickly became Mike's closest friend on the Tulsa Drillers. Sanchez was another veteran minor leaguer who even served as the fill-in hitting coach before Mike joined the team. It was Tino who briefed Mike on his new job, brought him up to speed. In fact, Mike was so grateful for all of his generous help that he took Tino out to lunch. The meal stretched out for more than 2 hours. Turned out, Mike had some advice for his new friend.
That's when I told him that I was going to have a baby. He smiled at me. He told me, Tino, your life is going to change.
Did he talk about his boys?
Yeah. When he said that you don't know what you're going to go through, the experience, that this is the most beautiful thing, he was talking about his family.
Mike, of course, told him that his wife was expecting again, too. Then the very next day, that fateful Sunday, Mike made a point before the game to study Tino's hitting and offer some pointers. It happened here in Little Rock, the home of the AA Arkansas Travelers, on the night of last July 22nd. At the top of the ninth, with the runner on first, Tino Sanchez, Tulsa's left-handed designated hitter, worked the count to 3-1. Mike Coolbaugh, the first base coach, turned to the runner and said, "If you're going first to third, you got to be sure." Sanchez turned on a fastball inside, swung hard, and an instant later, there was a death on the diamond.
And Edwards delivers, and Sanchez ropes it foul off his
hurt.
first
Hit him in the
base
head.
coach.
Hit him in the head.
Oh my goodness, that
Oh,
hit
that
Mike
hurt.
Coolbaugh, and he has been knocked out.
I honestly can tell you, that ball was hit as hard as any baseball I have ever seen hit.
He went down on his back and never moved again.
Phil Elson and Bill Valentine broadcast the game on radio.
The last thing Mike Coolbaugh heard was the crack of the bat.
And how about Tino, who hit the ball?
He threw his hands in the air at home plate and did like this and ran as hard as he could to Mike.
When I really started getting emotional, it was when the doctor was screaming his name to bring him back.
Mike.
Right, Mike, don't go. Don't go. Come back. So I was telling myself, this can't be happening.
Back home in San Antonio, Mandy Coolbaugh was told that her husband was unconscious and that she needed to get to Little Rock as quickly as she could.
I was pregnant. I knew he was unconscious. That's what I had been told. And I picked out this dress. It was black. It was the only maternity dress that I had. And I looked at it, and my heart just sank. I just sat there thinking, and I
You mean looking at the black dress,
looking
the color?
at the dress, I just prayed, please God, don't make me have to wear this. And I had the car packed, and I got the call from the doctor who had said Mike didn't make it. So my world was just shattered.